So we are going to read from Bhagavad Gita, chapter 6, text number 3. The Lord will be explaining that for those who, the theme was that those who are not, their heart is not purified, they have to do prescribed duties, and those whose hearts have got purified, they can do Ashtanga Yoga. So, and that's why, because Nishkam Karma Yoga is universally applicable for everyone, that's why Lord has glorified it in sloka number 1 and 2. Now in text number 3, the Lord is very clearly explaining two different processes for two different people. A person who's actually entering into the field of the Ashtanga Yoga, for him, action is the means by which he will purify his heart. He has to act. He cannot just stop his senses. The heart is not pure. He cannot just sit down and meditate only. So for him the means is to action. But in a detached spirit. But a person who has got purified his heart, he does not have to do prescribed activities. His mind is peaceful. He can focus it on Paramatma very easily. So there are two different kinds of people with two different kinds of adhikar. Adhikar is a qualification. And as per that, two different processes are prescribed for them. One is engaging the action of senses, and another one will be restraining the action of senses. But in both situations is to focus the mind. Hear very carefully. A person who is not accomplished in yoga, if he stops his senses, his mind will become more disturbed. Are you able to hear? Got it? If I tell, map it to bhakti, new devotee, you say, we will give you a nice room, stay alone with the smartphone. Not the smartphone, just stay alone. So he will have very pure thoughts, is it not? Prabhupada very clearly say, he will think of woman even if the woman is not there. Obviously that's why he will think. And he will think of money even if money is not there. Even if nothing is there, woman and money is not there, but he will think of woman and money. So staying alone and sitting down won't help him. His mind will dwell in sense object. He will become more perturbed. I will not go further if you have not understood this point. A person whose heart is not purified, if he does not engage his senses in service, his mind will become more impure. Are you able to follow this? But a person who has got purified, so now he does not have to engage the senses. He can engage his mind directly in seva. Only mind also. So, considering in terms of bhakti, but if you talk in terms of Dhyan Yoga, he can actually meditate more on Paramatma. He does not have to do prescribed duties for purifying his heart. I am not sure if our devotee has made that chart. Have you made that chart? I will not name him. Okay, not there, no? Okay, tomorrow. How can it be so fast? We are not getting paid for it. Okay, I am sorry. I also made it very... I found it the last class because Shreyans Prabhu asked me a very tough question. And when you don't get an immediate reply, there are only two possibilities. Either I am sleeping or I don't know the answer. So I was just thinking this point that does Nishkam Karma Yoga gives you realization of Atma? Actually, it's not like that. It situates you in mode of goodness, Nishkam Karma Yoga, as per yoga ladder. Then, after your heart has been purified, then there are two branches. Jnana Yoga, by which you get Brahman realization, or Ashtanga Yoga, by which you get Paramatma realization, but ultimately you want moksha. Are you able to follow? Okay, today I'll show you the screen. Let's see, tomorrow I will want to show you the chart. I've shared it in the Gita class as it is group. Let's see if it is possible. No, but it will not come out nicely. No. So, okay, let it be tomorrow. Let it be for tomorrow. So, I could have shown it. Anyways, we'll show tomorrow. But point you have to understand that normally human beings are living as animals. From there, they come to human form of life where they engage or they accept Vedas as hold on, I'll show and I'll explain again tomorrow. Can you see? Animal life, then karma kandi, human life. You can link, see in the Gita class as it is. It's there. I've shown you the link. So now, then they follow karma kanda for their sense gratification, and then they will do karma yoga. That means nishkam karma yoga. They will do prescribed duties but not for sense gratification, by which their passion will transform to goodness. They will come, see, they still have to act, but now they're acting in nishkam karma yoga. They have to act because passion is there, but understanding that I am Atma, influenced by passion, I must act. Well, I will act as per Varnan ashram, but not for fruitive results. So that will promote goodness. Then that will lead to Jnana Yoga, which will lead to Brahman realization. It's same. Karma Kanda is for fruitive activities, and Karma Yoga refers to Nishkam Karma Yoga. Okay?
Is it not that goodness is coming before acting?
See, try to understand. It's not, first you have to understand, goodness, passion and ignorance is not absolutely pure in this material world. There's some goodness, there has to be some sense, because by doing karma kanda, he got bored by the sense gratification which accrued to him. So obviously there is some purification by karma kanda. Slow over the period of lifetimes, but something has, some sense has come. That's why from karma kanda he's moving towards Jnana Marga. Now he wants to realize Atma. But although I want to realize Atma, don't you want to realize Atma? Don't you? All of us. But we can't just sit down every day, because we know that we are influenced by passion also. Yes? Whole day we can just sit down and meditate, if you map it to bhakti. Similarly, a karma yogi will act as per varnashram, because he knows he is bound to act. So that is his means to purify his heart. Okay? But that will promote goodness with him, and then that will lead him to Jnana Yoga. Then if he follows Jnana Yoga, he will then he will get Brahman realization. And if he goes further to Ashtanga Yoga, then he will get both Brahman realization as well as Paramatma realization.
But in yesterday's shloka, Krishna was saying that both are same.
Nishkam Karma Yoga is same, because unless a person has nahi sanyasta sankalpo yogi bhavati kaschana, a person who was not purified, so the goal is same. Are you able to understand? Otherwise there is no question of yoga ladder.
They are too fast.
I speak in the mic, otherwise nobody will understand. Actually, I don't want to go further, because this is the mistake which happened in Hindi class. We entered too much into the discussion and nobody understood anything. First let me complete the whole thing, then you understand. This is, see, when a person who is hearing, he will not understand what I am trying to say. We can't initiate a discussion right now. First you hear what is being mentioned here. So now, from Jnana Yoga, he goes to Ashtanga Yoga. If he goes to Ashtanga Yoga, then there are two things he will get. He will get Brahman realization as well as Paramatma realization. Jnana Yogi won't get Paramatma realization. Brahmeti Paramatmiti Bhagwan iti Shabdi. The person who realizes Brahman does not realize his Paramatma. But Paramatma realization includes Brahman and Paramatma. And then further, if he makes advancement in Bhakti Yoga, then he will realize the Lord. Otherwise, most people, after Ashtanga Yoga, they want to merge into the Lord only, like that. So some idea I try to give here. I hope devotees will make some charts, and tomorrow again I will explain. So the theme of the shloka is very clear. A person who has not purified his heart, for him to purify his heart, the means is doing prescribed activities and also doing Dhyan. Also doing Dhyan Yoga, like that. Okay. Please chant after me. Please chant. आरुरुक्षोर्मुनेर्योगम्
आरुरुक्षो मुनेर्योगम्
कर्म कारणमुच्यते
कर्म कारणमुच्यते
योगारूढस्य तस्यैव
योगारूढस्य तस्यैव
शमः कारणमुच्यते
शमः कारणमुच्यते
आरुरुक्षोर्मुनेर्योगं कर्म कारणमुच्यते
आरुरुक्षो मुनेर्योगं कर्म कारणमुच्यते
योगारूढस्य तस्यैव शमः कारणमुच्यते
योगारूढस्य तस्यैव समः कारणमुच्यते
शमः
शमः कारणमुच्यते
means control of the mind. Sama means equanimity. Okay, where we are. For one who is a neophyte in the eightfold yoga system, work is said to be the means. And you will see Prabhupada takes it in a different way. So, but firstly this. And for one who is already elevated in yoga, cessation of all material activity is said to be the means. One man's food is another man's poison. So, we will read the purport and you will explain. First, let us, because there are two ways they have explained the sloka. So, you have to follow both the lines. First, you understand the Anvay. Yogam arurukshuh muni. In the eightfold system, in the eightfold yoga system, Ashtanga, which has 8 angas, of the sage who has just begun yoga. In the Ashtanga yoga, yoga means refers to here the Ashtanga yoga, arurukshu, arohan, to climb. So arurukshu means who want to climb up the path of Dhyan yoga. Are you able to understand this? Who want to grow? Now you can think about it. A person who is doing Nishkam Karma, he got purified. Now he wants to climb the path of. Are you able to point that? Be in that point. He wants to now climb up to get further Paramatma realization. Got it? So for that point, are you able to follow? There's a whole, I can say, not hierarchy, a whole span where a person is beginning in Dhyan Yoga and a person who has accomplished Dhyan Yoga. Map it to Bhakti, a person who is beginning Bhakti, a person who is in a Paramahansa stage. They are different people. Okay. Karma karanam, where is the Uchyate? Karma karanam, Uchyate is somehow that is there. Oh, it was not in red. Karma karanam Uchyate, it got somehow camouflaged. Work is said to be the means. As Prabhupada would say, work now, samadhi later. So by working, the mind is getting controlled. How? How? Because the senses are engaged. And senses cannot be engaged unless the mind is engaged. Samajh rahe na? And you see that for many devotees, very easy to work, difficult to sit in class even. Now you see, you will you will have some space for them. You cannot just blindly reject the person. Arey Baba, he simply wants to work. Let him work at least in the spirit of devotion. Are you able to follow this point? Karma karanamuchyate. By this, his mind will become purified. Karana means cause. The cause of purifying his mind is action. Okay? Whom? Who is just beginning the path of. That means his mind is not peaceful, mind is not controlled. Yoga arudasya. Arud means who has climbed up. Just like right now I am on arud. I am sitting on top of a chair. I am chair arud, so to speak. Arud, you understand? Somebody who's desiring to sit on the chair and somebody is sitting on the chair. I think you have to be able to understand this word. Arud. Arud. Yatharoop maya. Sitting on the, it's like you sit on the bike, sit on the car. That is the import of the word arudha. Yoga arudasya, of one who has attained eightfold yoga system, means who has attained perfection. Shamaha eva tasya karanam uchyate. Cessation of all material activities certainly is said to be his means. Okay? Translation, commentary. then the Ashtanga yogi should practice prescribed karmas all his life. Now you got the answer? You were saying, earlier you told that Nishkam Karma Yoga is not different from sannyas. So, see, your doubt got clear. So, okay, I must only do Nishkam Karma Yoga. You are saying non-different. It was non-different in the sense that the purpose was not different. The purpose was to purify the mind. But it's not that all life, if you will do Nishkam Karma Yoga only. Please try to understand, Nishkam Karma Yoga's purpose is to purify the heart, remove the passion and ignorance, and bring a person to goodness. Okay? If you map it to bhakti, what is the purpose of Vaidhi bhakti? To bring us to Raga Nuga bhakti by the purification of modes of passion and ignorance. Got it? Are you able to map to bhakti? Very good. But the difference is, in Nishkam Karma Yoga, you give up Nishkam Karma Yoga. But in Bhakti Yoga, you don't give up. You just continue with that. But it changes into attachment. For the practitioner of yoga or munah means mananshila, who is thoughtful, who desires to attain steadiness in meditation. Means, arurukshu means desires to rise up, to climb. So he desires that his mind should remain fixed in Paramatma. That is, for that person, prescribed karmas are the cause of his elevation to that stage, since they purify the heart. See, he is taking in a different way. Srila Baldev Vidyabhushan. Prescribed activities means varnashram activities also. He will do dhyan. He will do dhyan. But it's not that he will immediately give up those activities. Are you able to follow? It's not that he will immediately give up varnashram and then jump to dhyan. He cannot stay in that platform. It will take time to get purified. For one who has attained steadiness in meditation, yogarudha, that means his meditation is normal, it's just natural for him. Cessation of all those prescribed karmas is the cause of maintaining firm steadiness. Now, if he does all those varnashram activities, it will be we use the word Sanskrit, vikshep. It will be a distraction from meditating. If you have natural taste for chanting, my dear devotee, I'm just mapping to bhakti. Now if somebody says, why don't you become a manager in temple? Most probably you say, nah, it will be difficult for me. They are, in a sense, they are both devotional services, but still there is difference. Have not Srila Prabhupada said this? Although Prabhupada is transcendental, but he says that I simply want to write books. I'm just giving the example. Prabhupada is transcendental, completely transcendental, doing anything what he does. But still there is difference. Srila Prabhupada in Chaitanya Charitamrita says, when Mahaprabhu comes to Puri, and Mahaprabhu says, Nibhrita Koriya, I want to stay alone. Then Prabhupada says, it's not for neophytes. To stay alone is not for neophytes. Only very elevated devotees can stay alone and think of Krishna. We can stay alone and definitely very easily we can think of Maya. So only when a person is actually qualified, he can do that. Sit down and think of Krishna only. Unless we have taste for that, how can we do that? Okay, another example I'll give. Prabhupada says, unless a person is very advanced devotee, he cannot just be satisfied in Shravan and Kirtan. You got it? So now, tell me, for Parikshit Maharaj, when he was hearing Srimad Bhagavatam, if somebody says, ye Raj ka problem hai, this is a problem with kingdom, he would have maybe, not shooted him, but just become very angry. It was such a distraction for him. Hai na? Because Sukadeva Goswami was speaking in Samadhi, actually. He was literally seeing those pastimes in meditation and speaking to Parikshit Maharaj. And Parikshit Maharaj was also absorbed in that. I'm just giving an example. A person who's beginning in bhakti, please map it to bhakti because we are more concerned with bhakti. So he has to engage in all kinds of activities. But if he is purified, he can simply chant Hare Krishna. This is what Prabhupada says. Deity worship is not needed also. If you are advanced, simply by chanting Hare Krishna. Is it not? You get purified. By Bhagavatam, you get purified. Bhagavat Marga. But because our minds are not pure, then we also get purified by other services also. They are also purifying us. But That is because you're beginning in bhakti. But if you are fully accomplished in bhakti like Haridas Thakur or the Shat Goswamis, they can simply be happy simply chanting Hare Krishna and reading Bhagavatam and being engaged in Bhagavad Marg. Is it clear? I'm just keep on mapping to bhakti. Now if you come back to Dhyan Yoga, a person who is accomplished in Dhyan, he can just sit and then meditate on Paramatma. He does not have to do any varnashram activities. Okay? Fine. So cessation of all those prescribed karma is the cause of maintaining firm steadiness because they interrupt his meditation. Purport. The process of linking oneself with the Supreme is called yoga. Yoga means to join. So join our senses with the Supreme. It may be compared to a ladder for attaining the topmost spiritual realization. This ladder begins from the lowest material condition of the living entity and rises up to perfect self-realization in pure spiritual life. What is the lowest material condition? Animal life, where I don't want to follow any rules and regulation. And highest perfect self-realization is Bhakti Yoga, pure Bhakti Yoga. According to various elevations, different parts of the ladder are known by different names. But all in all, the complete ladder is called yoga and may be divided into three parts, namely Jnana Yoga, Dhyan Yoga and Bhakti Yoga. The beginning of the ladder is called the yogaruruksu stage and the highest rung is called yogarudha. Yogaruruksu means beginning to start. Concerning the eightfold yoga system, attempts in the beginning to enter meditation through regulative principles of life and practice of different sitting postures which are more or less bodily exercises are considered fruitive material activities. So Srila Prabhupada is clearly simply telling it in a way how Ashtanga Yoga is defined. Yam, Niyam, Asan, Pranayam, Dhyan, Dharana. Na, Pratyahar, where does it come? Pratyahar. Again, Yam, Niyam, Asan, Pranayam, Pratyahar, Dharana, Dhyan, Samadhi. So Yam means you don't have to do these things, and Niyam means you have to do these things. So there are certain brahmachari and all those things are there. So that are more or less bodily activities by which a person's passion is removed. And then what is it? Asan. Asan means goodness. Okay, would you like to do an experiment? Ram Krishna Prabhu, please stand up and start moving here. Just do an experiment. Just do an experiment and we'll continue our Bhagavad Gita class. Just do it. Just do it and then you see how it feels. Just keep on moving as we are discussing. Just keep on going from there to come back there, and then you feel how do you feel about the class which we are discussing. So you can understand, don't look at him, just let him do what he wants to do now. Keep on going like this. How you feel? We have done the drama. You don't feel nice now? Sit down. Now you got the point? Asina sambhavat. Meditation on the Lord is possible by sitting down. See? Now you're able to follow this? It promotes goodness. One time I remember I had some discussion, just normal some problem discussion with a brahmachari, and we were walking. Then finally say, let us sit down and talk. And if you must have noticed, many times when you are in trouble or something, and you go to meet to a friend and says, "Arey, baith ke baat karte hain. Let us sit down and talk." Have you not noticed? See, so you understand this point? What we do with the body, does it affect our mind? That's what it is. That's what it is being mentioned here. For a person who is desiring to rise up, he does things with the body which will make his mind peaceful. Is that okay? Fine. All such activities lead to achieving perfect mental equilibrium to control the senses. You means obviously yoga without sense control is, I would say, farce or mazak kehte hain, joke. When one is accomplished in the practice of meditation, he ceases all disturbing mental activities. What is this disturbing mental activities? Thoughts of sense gratification. So he gives up all those things. A Krishna conscious person, however. So now Prabhupada is mapping to bhakti. He talks about Dhyan Yoga, but he maps to bhakti because Dhyan Yoga is of no use to us. A Krishna conscious person, however, is situated from the beginning on the platform of meditation because he always thinks of Krishna, and being constantly engaged in the service of Krishna, he is considered to have ceased all material activities. Now it is interesting. Ashtanga starts from Yam Niyam and Bhakti starts from Dhyan. Dhyan Purvak Jab Karo, you chant Hare Krishna attentively. You think or you see Krishna. Has your attention not been captured? You have still not understood probably. First do you, if I was a Dhyan yogi teacher, I say, first do you do Yam and do Niyam. Then you practice Asan. Can you sit for this Asan for this much time? There is no Paramatma now. Are you getting this point? First fix your Asan. Then control your breath. Where is Paramatma now? And what we were told when you first time met art of mind control? Chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. And the good part is, when you chant Hare Krishna, even if you don't think of Krishna, Krishna is thinking of you. Krishna's Dhyan Yoga. This is good, is it not? So we start from Dhyan. And Pratyahar is normal. Because you engage your senses in Krishna's service, then automatically you are doing pratyahar. Pratyahar, you understand? The senses want to eat up their sense objects, catch, and you turn them. So turning is very easy. Is it not easy? It is easy, actually much easier than the Ashtanga. Example is Vishwamitra. 60,000 years of Ashtanga yoga all finished by one chan of Menaka. Whatever, finished. So, and see the potency of Haridas Thakur. He did not, at least in this life, practice for 60,000 years. He had taste for chanting Hare Krishna, and even Maya could not do anything. Which is more powerful? You judge yourself. So very nicely put by Srila Prabhupada. We are chanting and dancing now, and in the stage of love of God, we are going to chant and dance. So in bhakti, we don't seize anything. But what we learned is a person who... Now let us only map to bhakti. If we are practicing bhakti, Siddhant is there in Bhagavatam 12:3-15, if I am not wrong. One should read and hear Bhagavatam morning and evening, and should read all throughout the day. This is the principle. But if a devotee cannot practice it, then for him it is better that he also do other activities which are also devotional activities, and in that way he remains engaged in Krishna's service and his mind gets purified. And one day he will attain a stage when he will think, why 16, why not 16,000? Then he does not have to do any other activity. He simply can chant Hare Krishna, simply can remember Bhagavatam, remember Krishna. Here Bhagavatam, as Mahaprabhu is shown, is it not? Mahaprabhu was not doing any management except when devotees were coming and making arrangements for his... for their accommodation, etc. That also was done through other devotees, engaging them. Anyhow, that was devotional service. There are people like this. Markandeya Rishi is meditating for yugas, kalpas, where the mind is hooked to the form of the Lord because of the taste which is emanating from that thing. So they don't have to do anything. Again, come to Bhagavatam, the Shaunakadi Rishis, they are simply satisfied hearing about Krishna Katha, hearing about Krishna. They are not doing any other activity. There is no need also. There is no need. The need is there because our heart is not pure right now. So we become, how to say, fidgety, we become disturbed. Itna lamba class kyun hai, whatever. Okay. I remember that one time His Holiness Radhanath Maharaj, not remember means, but Gaurasundar Prabhu was telling me that he was there with Maharaj. They went to Bangladesh Yatra. Maharaj started from this time around, or maybe 8 o'clock. Then he went till 2 o'clock. If you think we are having long classes, night time, 8 to 2. And then he said, after Katha there should be Kirtan. So they finished by 3:30 or something. So I'm just saying that there was a Janmashtami festival. Prabhupada was there. It was pretty hot room and everybody was packed in it. And Krishna was being read and everybody was tired. And Prabhupada was closed his eyes, and then they will finish one chapter, and Prabhupada, and they will say, Jai Prabhupada, Jai Krishna. And they say, next. Then they will read another, and everybody was falling down. It's so hot, and all night they're tired also. Then again one more chapter. And then, Jai Prabhupada, Jai Krishna. Next. So you see, he was simply satisfied hearing and chanting about Krishna. So all of us will attain that stage, but we have to be a little patient. At least in the day we engage in services, morning, even at least morning and evening, positively we should engage in Krishna Katha. So slowly as we get purified, one day it will come that we don't have to do any material activity. We just think about Krishna, chant Hare Krishna like that. I'll stop here. Are there any questions? But in the beginning of Bhakti also, Dhyan is not always on Krishna. How to understand? Dhyan is not on Krishna, but you are practicing Dhyan on Krishna. That is the point of what I'm trying to say. You are not doing pressing of nose. I'm not telling, okay, you have asked the question to everyone. So, the devotee has asked the question, did I tell you to press your nose? You don't do say, is it not? We just told you to chant Hare Krishna mantra directly. Hare Krishna, did you hear it? Hare Krishna, what did I speak? What did I speak? Before that, Hare Krishna. So if your attention was not captured, your dhyan was not captured, so how did you hear what I spoke? There is no yam and niyam. Directly, when the devotee who asked the question came to Vrindavan, whose temple you visited in Iskcon? Devi Kali, Shivji, Hanumanji, or Shani Devata? You're not typing anything, he has left or what? Answer is very clear. Shri Radha Shyam Sundar, Krishna Balram, Gaur Nitai. So did they not come in your mind? And right now, if the mind has not captured what I spoke, why, how did you ask the question? So this is all mana only. Are we not thinking what Krishna is speaking? Our Bhakti Shastri explained that we may even serve as brahmachari or ni in the temple and be on the level of Nishkam Karma Yoga if we are attached to a certain type of service according to our nature. And they said that we can go straight from Nishkam Karma to pure Bhakti simply by surrendering to the order of Guru and superior authorities, doing not what we want to do but what Krishna wants us to do. Where does Prabhupada says that? See, in any question you asked, you please don't quote any person. You please quote Shastra. Then you that will be like I'm fighting with someone. I don't want to fight with someone. I respect everyone's opinion, but I will not accept anyone's opinion. You please quote Shastra. Where does Bhagavad Gita says that? So Nishkam Karma Yoga is Nishkam Karma Yoga. Nishkam Karma Yoga is where we do Varnashram activities and offer them. We don't remain attached to getting fruitive results. What else everyone says, I will just say no comments. If you are staying in temple and serving, then it is bhakti, is it not? It may be mixed bhakti, that's a different thing. I may be serving under authority, but still I want some name and fame. That may not be pure devotional service, that's all right, but that is all bhakti. If you go to temple, that is not Nishkam Karma Yoga. Don't tell me that going to temple and chanting Harinam Sankirtan is Nishkam Karma Yoga. People will laugh on that. Sakam Bhakti is not Nishkam Karma Yoga. There is Sakam Bhakti and Nishkam Bhakti, but it is not Karma Yoga. Please hear carefully on this point. This Sakam Bhakti, this Nishkam Bhakti, but it is not Karma Nishkam. It's not Karma Yoga or Nishkam Karma Yoga. In Bhakti, the action itself is pleasing to Krishna. In Karma Yoga, the action is not offered. The results of the action are there. What is the difficulty in understanding this? So anyhow, whatever the devotees are saying, whatever their points is, I don't want to say anything, but that's what not Bhagavad Gita speaks. Okay. In the starting stage of yoga, heart is not purified, still the person in goodness. And at the end, person will go beyond the modes. No, I did not say that. See, there has to be some goodness to accept yoga. First of all, you have to understand. But what is being mentioned here is that in Nishkam Karma Yoga, a person is, by doing Nishkam Karma Yoga, he increases his mode of goodness. Already a person who is doing Nishkam Karma Yoga has to have some goodness. Otherwise, if he is too passionate, then he will be doing for Swarga, is it not? For Swarga or material gains. But that he by doing all those things in previous life, he got frustrated and he goes, no, isme kuch nahi rakha hai. Nothing is there in that. So he comes to, that also promotes some, karma kanda also purifies over a period of lifetimes, and then he has some goodness because he has done those rules and regulations. So then he begins to understand, no, I must do the same activities, but due to in a mood of selflessness. But still it is karma yoga, not bhakti yoga. He is not doing that. He is doing the same prescribed activities, same agnihotra yagya, same thing, but with a mood of detachment. That promotes further goodness. That's what I'm trying to say. All of us have some sense of goodness. That's how we wake up for Mangal Arati. And then I'm just mapping it to bhakti. Then again wake up for Mangal Arati will increase further goodness. Is it not? There are some people who will say blank on their face, I will not wake up at 4 a.m. I'll sleep at 4 a.m. So they are pretty much in lower modes. Are you able to follow this? Hai ki nahi? If suppose little Krishna, you were not waking up for Mangal Arati, but you decided from tomorrow I'll wake up for Mangal Arati, there has to be some inclination towards goodness, and it will promote further goodness. It's not like that you have become in goodness like that. So so we have to understand. In Bhakti Yoga, action itself is bhakti directly, is pleasing to Krishna. In Nishkam Karma Yoga, we perform actions in detached manner and offer fruits to the Lord for purification. Yes, this is a fact. This is proper understanding. Okay, so no more questions, so we shall stop here. Srimad Bhagavad Gita ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Nitai Gaur Premanande.